pick up within the TechCon. Welcome,
Thank you.
everyone. So we're going to take you through a quick presentation around privacy in a cookie era, as AWIN is a marketing company, but also very reliant on tech for solutions to advertisers. So we have seen a lot of privacy matters come in place, and they are either smoke mirrors or industry earthquakes, so kind of cinematic title, but we'll try to take you through that. First, I want to present you our company, so AWIN, where we've come from and where we're heading. So we are driving affiliate marketing excellence. We are based on innovative technology and very highly skilled account management. We are like the largest company in terms of network, and we have been born in 2000. We have 1,000 A-winners who all try to win in 15 offices worldwide. We acquired Share Sale in the US and Commission Factory in Australia. We are partners, so we are connecting the advertisers with a pool of publishers, so over 211K of them. All verified through our strict compliance team that is verifying if there are frauds or not. And we have 260 affiliates joining every day, so we can propose every day new partners to our advertisers. We have the ability to cover 180 markets, which is pretty impressive, and all managed by our HQ in Berlin and also our central in London. We are trusted by 15K brands, a couple of premium brands you can see there as Nike, Etsy, Azos, and in Germany you might recognize MediaMarkt, T-Mobile, and we've been driving 11 billion euro in terms of revenue on our channel with a very competitive ROI at 19. Now, after presenting my company, I'm going to take you through the agenda for today. So we're going to speak about cookies. Then we're going to deep dive quickly on privacy. And at the end, how, as an advertising network, we have reacted to those changes. So cookies, not these cookies. So as much as I want to talk to you about baking cookies, we are going to speak about the internet cookies. So what is the internet cookies? So the internet cookies, who have become the bread and butter of the internet, are like stocking informations just to help the user get a better experience. Let's just take you visit a website and then you switch the language to English. The next time you will be coming back to that website, it will automatically propose you the English version. So that's the aim of cookies when they were created. So just to simplify the user experience, make it more intuitive, and save your time by not asking you every time to change your preferences and enter your informations. So it just to provide a very tailored experience that answers to your needs and interests. But then there is two types of cookies. So there is the first-party cookies, so the ones we just saw. So with the creation of the cookies, they came as first-party cookies. And then there was the third-party cookies. So the first-party cookies are really simple. So they are set by the publisher website, so the owner of the website that you are visiting. They are loaded on a JavaScript on the website, and they are asking also for your consent to accept those cookies so they can offer you the best experience. Then they are only available to that domain. So the domain that created it only access those informations, and they are supported by all browsers with the opportunity to the user to delete them if they go to the settings on any browser. The difference with the third-party cookies, those cookies that are seen as really bad, are set by tech platforms, ad tech, exchange, display, and all of that. And they load a code on the publisher website to take back those informations for different purposes. They are available to everyone who is accessible to those third-party cookies, and they can be sold. And they are also supported by all browsers, but there is, as we will see later on, a certain change in terms of the industry to block those type of cookies by default. Cookies category. So the first one, there is the functioning cookies. So the ones that, as we said, that save the language, that save your personal choices when you visit a website first. Those are functioning cookies that are used by the publishers to give you a better experience. There is the analytics and audience cookies. Those one are really important just for the publishers to really seize the importance of their traffic and also give it a value right after. There is the social network cookies. So those ones are the ones when you share any content on LinkedIn, Twitter, and so on. And there is the advertising cookies, which are on a purpose to create advertising and make revenues for both advertisers and publishers. And then there is the other cookies that don't fit in any of the category, and they are kind of difficult to deal with. Privacy. What is changing on our dear internet? So we've seen that privacy is at stake. So we've seen thousands of records are being stolen, exposed. I guess any of you have received some emails from companies saying that their data has been compromised or something like that. And I guess the biggest scandal would be the Facebook one with Cambridge Analytica and the election of Donald Trump. So there is plenty of companies. You're commuting with Uber, you're buying sneakers on Adidas, and you're sharing content on LinkedIn. All of them have experienced stolen records and data. So that's why the European Union has made the GDPR. So the GDPR is something for the industry to rethink the data and to protect the user and also his personal data. So it's a critical law that came in 2018 with the aim of protecting all the user data across the internet. And it came also with a complementary law, which was iPrivacy. The regulation regarding the protection of the European data is very important, and it made a lot of digital companies rethink the way they process this data, and also with the purpose to safeguard the right of the user. So the GDPR at the end, what it is to empower the EU consumer about his right, give him more information about what is tagged in terms of his activity on the internet and all the things that can single him out as an individual, like an IPP, an email address, and all of that. Then we've had the iPrivacy. So the iPrivacy was a complementary law to regulate especially the cookies. So it is only to members. So each member state will apply this e-privacy directive on its own and on its own guidelines. So it is known today on the industry as the cookie directive because it's really aimed at cookies. It gives people specific privacy rights in terms of communication, emails, and the most significant area is ours at AWIN, which is the affiliate marketing, and also all similar technologies within the advertising web that are using and collecting cookies. And then after the regulation, so we have some big giants also who took some actions. So there is Apple who created the intelligent tracking prevention. So they were the first one to do so. As if you visit a website, you will get the screenshot on the right asking you if you allow or don't allow. And as they want to be super strict, they put the don't allow first. So it tricks to your brain and you don't allow. So that's a feature within Safari and also iOS, and it's set by default where they handle how cookies are used and ask for consent every time you use a website. They also added a couple of more updates, just like the ones they do on iOS. So there came the ITP 2.1, and it prevents third-party tracking. So it had a huge impact on the advertising industry by creating a lot of disruption by deleting those third-party cookies. So yeah, a lot of people on the industry accuse Apple of sabotaging the business model of the industry by deleting those third-party cookies. They killed a lot of companies that were relying on them, and they didn't offer any alternative while keeping the cookie length for Google and Facebook on a very longer time, which created like an unfair relationship within advertising market. Then, following Apple, which had created the first tracking protection program, there was Firefox. Firefox is known as the browser that offer the most security, and they are really engaged in protecting privacy of their users. So they launched a year after Apple ETP. So you see the inspiration from the naming. By default on all the browsers, users, technology, and they blocked third-party cookies automatically. And as you can see, they offered you a lot of information when you go to settings with enhanced tracking protection, and you can set your own settings and disable any cookies that you don't want on a daily basis navigation life on the internet. They had also a lot of updates because any program has a need for those updates in terms of remarks. So they launched ETP 2.0 that go straight forward to block the tracking, and it was a really cold move from them because they really assumed it and said that, hey, we're going to block redirect tracking anyway, and we are going to put it by default this time. So are third-party cookies really that bad at the end? I would say no, but there is good cookies and bad cookies. There is the cookies that are on the Google environment, so all the ones that are related to your personal choices in terms of listening to music on YouTube, your emails, your Google Drive things, and so on, and also the ones related to the press. So if you are visiting some content that is on Google and ranking really well, you have to understand and educate yourself to third-party cookies because they are bringing revenue to those publishers and creating a lot of streamline so they can produce even more. And there is the bad cookies that were responsible of leaking the data. So mostly Facebook, but there was also others. So every time they are not really safe because when you share in, you can have intrusions of hijackers. And I guess we saw it on previous one with the cyber criminality track. So are they coming to an end? Very dramatic, but no. So we've seen that Apple has launched their first ITP program, and then it was followed by Firefox with ETP, and then Google lately in January has announced that they are ending third-party cookies in 2 years, but then they kind of push back because they know they would hurt kind of their streamline of revenue. Apple also, again, the pioneer of protection against tracking, has added a couple more on the latest version where they dropped the new iPhones. So they said that all applications require now user consent before tracking will be triggered, which is a good thing. But at the end, they also pushed back to 2021. And we don't know the date yet. Just to give you a quick example on the weight of those browsers. So for example, here in France, we've seen that Google Chrome is taking 57% of the share of the traffic, followed by Safari, and then Edge, and a couple of old guys are still using Internet Explorer. So we've seen that there is almost 87% of that traffic that is at stake in terms of advertising and third-party cookies. So all of the browsers are taking stances against third-party cookies. So how, as an industry and as a tech platform, we are going to be answering to that? We are in a very challenged ecosystem, but we remain very trustworthy here at AWIN. So the current climate. So we have the internet who is going to go to the website and going to think, is my data going to be sold if I click on a website, if I share something on Facebook, or if I do something else? Then it came two regulators, so the browser, and the GDPR. So those two are protecting the internet from those violations, and they are staying in front of tracking, regular tracking on third-party cookies. So within the climates, how at AWIN we have responded to that? We have focused on 3 pillars. So the first one, which is the most important one, is data. The second one, which is sales, and the third one, which is growth. On the data pillar, we see that we had to do something about the GDPR. So we have removed personally identified information, so the PII that are collected by the users through cookies. We have also put in place a team of internal privacy professionals and external legal advisors. We have anonymized and pseudonymized and encrypted all the data that we have. And we, the most important part, all the requests for information, right of the lead, full network opt-out, we are fully compliant of the GDPR. Sales. Because our core of work is that we are connecting advertisers with publishers to track sales. We have a hybrid tracking in place. We have a master tag that is put in place on the advertiser website, and they can write cookies as first-party cookies and not as third-party cookies. And that is what sets us apart from other networks. We have a conversion tag who will record on the sale on the basket value. So at the end, we will know and get that information. And as a backup solution, we introduced server to server. So there is no tracking in place, just a connection and check-in within the advertiser database. So the Advertiser Master Tag, which is the first party. So we're moving completely away from third-party cookies and focusing on first-party cookies that are more in the user privacy, respectful of the user privacy. So we have the Advertiser Master Tag, who is a really huge tool that can be encapsulated on the advertiser site, and where we can offer up to 60 partners, whether they be retargeting partners, increasing revenue partners, any type of partners, we can add them to the master tag very quickly and without them dropping third-party cookies. We have generated over 200 million euro through this master tag, and we are focusing on the technology of first-party cookies. So with unlocking the master tag, what we offer to our clients is a cross-device tracking. So whether the users switch from the desktop to mobile to tablet, we are able to track, and we are also able to track on a cross-channel, and also say who contributed the most as a channel to the sale. We have voucher attribution, so we can significantly track vouchers, whether they are communicated to incentive sites or influencers. We are able to track them and attribute to the right sale to the publishers. And we have a faster and more robust tracking. So our full suite is really great because it offers a full first-party solution with the advertiser master tag, the conversion tag, the fallback pixel, the server-to-server, and we introduced lately also the app tracking. And all of them are in respectful of the user privacy as they are on first-party cookies. We also introduced, as I said, on the server-to-server, anything that can mitigate ad blockers. So even if the user is using ad blockers, he can still give some commissions to the publishers he's reading from. We have a robust tracking, cross-device, as I said, channel parameters, and so on, and most importantly, a real-time tracking. So how it works? We have the customer who will click through an AWIN link, whether he's reading something on the web, he's clicking on a banner or anything. We will add an AWC parameter to the landing page. On that AWC parameter, we have data, and we collect it through a cookie, which is a first-party cookie, and then we get to the advertiser site. And once the customer will convert on the advertiser site, it will link automatically the AWC with the conversion. And then at that stage, the advertisers will only have to send us the conversion tag via a server request, and then from the server to to ours, so that we are not putting any cookies else on that. And at the end, we can render all of this on our report on our platform, which we call the UI, and where all the publisher can see their performances and create really a virtuous circle of revenue stream between the advertisers and the publishers. It's more complex than that. So as we said, it clicks on the advertiser site. And as you can see here, some more details, especially on the AWIN, who is a kind of a code that has a purpose to serve as an AWIN click ID. So we can recognize that the click came from AWIN, and then the advertisers can attribute correctly to the publisher. What is the benefits of server-to-server tracking? Because it's not dropping cookies. So it's better for mobile tracking. So the setup is much more easier, much more trustable, and also we can integrate right after with third-party providers like tech partners and things like that. And then we can protect account cookie-based black hat tactics that we also saw in previous track at the TechCon, and then mitigates, most importantly, against the threat of the evolving intelligent tracking program from Safari, and also from others like Chrome and Firefox. And most importantly, our tracking will not be interrupted if the user closes the confirmation page ahead of our tag being fired. An example will be that with the master tag, be able to track the sale and the commission to the advertiser. Without it, we won't, as the ITP will block it directly. Same thing with Firefox, as we will have the server-to-server as a backup service, and it will prevent that. Same thing with the ad blocker, which is a similar situation as the Firefox situation. And that's it. And at the end, what we are proposing as a growth for our advertisers. So we are proposing them a lot of service partners. So really easy to manage with commission sharing, for example, and then offer them the possibility to find the right partners through a huge directory. And also drive higher growth through conversions and so on, more commissions for the publishers that are writing articles or driving those sales to the advertiser. And we have publisher pools who are created by our internal teams, whether focused on influencers, sub-networks, travel bloggers, and media partners. And those can give the brand an opportunity to maximize their exposure. And most importantly, we have another version of the master tag, but this time focused on the publisher, where we have various tools like codes, convert to link, some direct integrated reporting, and also a couple of service partners that can also help publisher to grow even more. And then we are really focused on safeguard in the future. What are we expecting? ITP3, more privacy regulations, Google Chrome. So we're really preparing to all those changes. And at the end, we are aiming or delivering very ethical advertising and giving the right tools and technology to stimulate the growth for both our advertisers and both for our publishers that are putting a lot of efforts on their daily basis. And that's pretty much it.